Welcome to part one of 4.4. 4.4 is the last lesson in our fourth chapter, and it has two parts to it. One is a little bit more manageable than the other. The other one, you really have to think. This one is not too bad. Okay, so follow along with me. This one, both of them are about solving percent problems. So the first one, you might have a question like, what is 10% of 110? Okay, or 10% of 110 is what number? So there might be times where you want to find the percent of a number. Okay, so if I have 110, I want to know what 10% of that is. What's that part of that? Okay, so here's what I get. 10%, when you see the word of, you're going to think about multiplication. Then you bring down the number, 110. Is something like this is it. Whenever you see the word is in this type of problem, it means it's equal. Is this equal to this? So I put equals. And then the what number, that's my question. So it's 10% times 110 gets my answer. So I'm going to convert this to a decimal. Decimal, times it by 110, and that will give me my answer. Okay? So using the chart that you put 10% and 10%. I got to take my percent away, put the decimal, move it over 2, and I get 0.10. 0.10 or just 0.1 of is times 110 equals. And so this is where, again, you can use a calculator. Might as well be accurate. You got to just make sure you punch in the buttons good. But 0.1 times 110 equals 11. Okay. So 10% of 110 is 11. And that makes sense because when something is a percent, unless it's over 100%, it's going to be less than the number you start with. So if we start with 110, 10% of it's just going to be a part of it. Would you say 11 is part of the 110? Yeah, it's not bigger than it. It's smaller. It's a percentage of it. So 10% of 110 is 11. Now, what I could do also, some people sometimes make it into a number line where you have something like this, where if 110 is 100%, 0 is always 0%, and we want to know what 10% is. So then you just kind of divide this up, okay? So say I go 50%, 40%, 30%, 20%, and 10%. So 10%, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 90%, 80%, 70%, 60%. Then I just got to figure out, how do I go from this to here, then to here, then to here, then to here, and it's I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, let's see here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then 10 would be 0. Okay? So what if I would go 110 divided by 10, 110 divided by 10 equals 11. So 10% is 11, 20% would be 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, 77, 88, 99, and then 11 more. So it's up 11. Every 10% goes up 11. So if 110 is my 100%, then 10% of it would be 11. This for me, a little bit more confusing, a little bit harder sometimes to think about. If I want to know just the process, just the way to do it, I go like this. 30% of 75. I'm going to go 0.30, because I changed that to a decimal, times 75 equals. And then I just get my calculator. And I go 0.30 times 75, and it gets me 22.5. And then I ask myself, 30% is just a part of 75. It's not quite 50%. Okay, 50% would be like 30 something. So it's a little less than 30%. And I got 22. 22, oh, that's a little bit less than half. It's not the full 75, it's not 100%. So yeah, it makes sense that this is less because it's 30% of the 75. All right, let's go over here. %90 of 20. You know, let's do that number line one more time. So 100% here, 0% here. We know 0 is always going to be 0. In this case, 20% is my 100. Okay. And now I need 90% of that. So 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%, 90%. I'm going to make this 100% now. I did too many lines. So 20. So what I want is I want to get this one right here, because that would be 90% of 20. 90% of 20. So there are 10 spots, and I have to just do 20 divided by 10. 20 divided by 10 equals 2. So I gotta go, everything is 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. All right, so 90% of 20, so here's my 100%, but 90% would be 18. That's using the number line. Now let's change this to a decimal, 0.9 times 20. Let's see if we get the same thing. 0.9 times 20 equals 18. So 2 methods. You can either use the number line or you can use this. But just know that this is your 100%. Whatever you have of something, that's your 100% when you're doing this number line. Okay. I prefer, like I said, to change this to a decimal, 0.75, multiply it by 32, And then I get to see what percentage of 32 I have. 0.75 times 32 equals 24. Now that one kind of makes sense too. If I want to think about this, sometimes I just like to go 50%. 50% of 32 is 16. Half of 32 is 16. So I need to go a little bigger than half. So it has to be a little bigger than 16. Is 24 a little bigger than 16? It is. Now it's not all the way to 100%. 100% would be 32. So 75% is kind of between 16 and 32. That's sometimes how I just say, am I on the right track? Does this make sense? All right, for this first part, if you ever want to find the percent of a number, so what is 12% of 1,000? 4% of 100. You take the percent, turn it into a decimal, and multiply it by the number, and you'll get your percent, okay? Percent to a decimal of means multiply equals your answer. Okay, let's try that. You could, if this makes a lot of sense to you, you could also chart it out like that, make a big chart, do all your percentages, and then just see where it lines up. Okay.